Hey man, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
Good, buddy. How you doing? Happy
Yeah.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday. You go back to work tomorrow, correct?
No, I'm actually off tomorrow, which is nice. I
Okay.
work next weekend, so when I have to work a weekend, I get a day off during the week prior and after. So considering Kelly's birthday was this weekend, I chose to take off instead of this coming Friday, Monday.
Well,
How
that's cool
about you? How
though.
was your weekend?
It was good. We did some snowboarding on Thursday. Friday we made some clams, linguine, fra diavolo for a little pre-Valentine's Day celebration.
Delicious.
Did some binge watching of some series. And then Saturday for actual Valentine's Day we went to dinner and shared a 40-ounce tomahawk steak.
You got the tomahawk.
Oh yeah, it was so good. And
Nice. How do you
then
guys get it cooked?
medium, we did medium. It came out a little overdone, but it was still good. And then we
Yep.
did a little tuna tower for appetizer.
Yep.
So good. And then we actually went to the movies and saw Wuthering Heights. It's
What
some,
is this?
it's some romance, gothic, dramatic, chick flick. But it wasn't actually too bad. Had a good soundtrack,
Did it
believe
really?
it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it, kept my interest. Amanda loved it. But
Nice.
yeah, got home last night and just did some more binging.
Nice, dude. Well, we also went out to dinner. We went to a place called Secondo. If there's anybody who's familiar with New Jersey, Cape May County, check out Secondo. It's a really good spot. They have indoor and outdoor seating. We obviously sat indoor, but it's right at the marina. So it's
Oh,
funny
nice.
that last week we were talking about perfect storm because all you see is the parked Andrea Gale boats. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. And yeah, we just ordered a bunch. We did some fried clams, we did some jumbo shrimp cocktail, we did fried calamari. They have this like homemade garlic bread, which I told them keep it coming. I think they served it to us 4 times. It was so good. And then we had Kelly got a lobster trio, which was like lobster ravioli, lobster tail, and like a lobster cake. And I had what's called a spaghettini, which is a marinara angel dish, pasta dish, but it had shrimp, spicy salmon, crab, mussels. It was delicious.
That sounds
And
great.
then for dessert, we did a peanut butter bomb dome and ice cream sandwich with mint chocolate chip ice cream.
And apple cinnamon pie. That sounds great.
And you know what made the ice cream like 10 out of 10? The mint chocolate chip ice cream was like that ice cream that you get from like a mini golf course. You know how like mint chocolate chip from a mini golf course has a different shade of green?
Mhm. It's
It
like,
was like that.
yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
super minty green.
Yeah, delicious. It
Looks
was
like,
good.
yeah, nice. Have you guys, did you watch anything good this week?
You know what? For Kelly's birthday, we watched her favorite movie, which is The Little Mermaid, the original Disney.
Okay.
And it's really funny. Obviously, you and I grew up on OG Disney flicks, but I hadn't seen that my whole childhood. She actually showed it to me when we first started dating, and that's a damn good Disney movie. Very good movie.
Yeah, they're all good.
It is hysterical. Sebastian the Crab, Flounder. I mean, it's a great Disney movie. I enjoyed it. And I think tomorrow we may try to watch Harry Potter 4. Yeah.
Nice. That's just when the Harry Potter movies start getting a little bit better, I think.
Is it?
It is, yeah. Because you like one through three, Amanda got me into it and we watched all seven or eight of them in like a 2 week stretch. And the first few, it's like there's a different storyline in each. It isn't until like the fourth one, I think, if I remember correctly, that like from here on out, they all kind of build more on top of the last one. Like cliffhanger endings.
Yeah.
If I recall, I think that's when it starts, is with the fourth one, and that's when they get a little bit more mature, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, pretty good. You'll like it.
Yeah, I got that vibe from the third one a little bit. I was like, this is definitely a little darker than 1 and 2, which makes sense because they were like 8, I feel like, when they were filming 1, and now they're starting to be like, teenage years, early 20s. So you definitely have to shift the vibe. You definitely have to shift the theme.
Yeah,
the overall theme, if you will, you
yeah,
know.
for sure, for sure. Have you watched any of the Olympics?
No, I haven't watched any.
I've only been watching men's hockey. So Team USA has gone 3-0.
Ooh, nice.
Today they wrapped up their preliminary round with a 5-1 win over Germany. So I think starting Tuesday for them is the round robin play.
Okay.
If you lose, you're out essentially. You have to win the rest to get to the gold. But
Well, when this wraps up, you'll have to do a miracle watch for the hell of it.
oh, I watched it a few weeks ago. So good. And there's actually a Netflix documentary that just came out.
I saw that.
Did you watch it?
No, I'm going to though.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It's got pretty much almost, if I'm not mistaken, every 1980 player from that roster that's still alive gets interviewed. They, some behind the scene footage and photos and talk about Herbie Brooks, the coach, and
Yeah.
really insightful and goes into a lot of their upbringings and backstories and how they got involved with the Olympic team that year.
One thing I always found so interesting about that team was the fact that they were damn near all, if not all of them, from Minnesota and Boston.
Most of them, and it
Uh,
touches on that actually. It
does
talks
it?
about how half the team almost was the Minnesota boys,
Yeah.
and then the other half were the New Englanders, the Boston U guys, and there was just so much bad blood between them and Boston University guys were all considered the cake eaters or the preppies from the Minnesota boys and
Like say welcome, cake eater.
because Herb Brooks coached Minnesota too, so they, there was some thought that there was going to be bias right off the rip, but it also goes into this, the goalie Janacek, I think his name was. He was a backup goalie on the 80s gold medal team, the 80 gold medal team. But he had just won a national championship with the University of Minnesota that year for Herb Brooks. But now you're going to back up Jimmy Craig, a Boston guy, I think, for the starting goaltender job. So like he was very fair and he knew who he wanted to start regardless of, allegiance or school ties or whatever. Just really good. Highly recommend watching it. It was like an hour and a half long or so, but it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I plan on it. One thing I loved about that movie too is, obviously that rivalry's there. It's been there. All the coaches, all the players are familiar with each other. It's been a rivalry. That's all the team consists of. So obviously there's bad blood. They do not mess with one another at all. And Herb's approach is just, as you put it, being fair, but being very strict too, and very assertive and just perfect, if you will. And there's a line in it by the assistant coach. And he said, well, maybe if the players hate the coach, they won't have time to hate each other. And it was just awesome because, yeah, I mean, if you have all this talent, but half of them hate each other, half of them hate the other half, they're not going to work together as a team. They're not going to pursue and achieve that goal. So I think that the coach did that intentionally to ensure I can handle them hating me. I prefer they get along and hate me versus love me and not mess with each other because we're not going to win anything if we can't work together as a team.
And just to caveat on that, what else was interesting? What also was interesting was some of the players talk about a letter that they got from Herb Brooks shortly after winning. And the letter essentially was that. It was like, I'm sorry that I, couldn't be there to be your friend or that I didn't get to know you guys on a more personal level, but I was your coach. I didn't want to be your friend. And I mean, he died, I think, in the later 80s, if I'm not.
Oh, he
I
did?
don't know.
Oh,
Actually, don't quote me on that. But whenever he died, he never was that close with any of the players, even after it ended. Like, that was it. Like, wash your hands of it. And he didn't have anything to do with them. And that was what a lot of the guys on this documentary said was like, it was a shame that we didn't get to know him on a more personal level, considering what we had just accomplished.
yeah, yeah. When I watch that, we'll revisit it here. We saw Miracle at a very young age, and it's one of my favorite sports movies, and the fact that it's based off a true story. beating Russia, who at the time was just this absolute juggernaut, like the '07 Patriots, if you will. Just an unstoppable force, you know?
Like an unstoppable rebel force.
And yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, man. Check it out. Also, today in movie history,
I love this.
one of your favorites of all time. What is it? Top five for you?
Oh, top three.
Top three. This
Top three.
day in movie history, The Breakfast Club was released in theaters.
Yep.
1984, 41 years ago today, or 85.
Wow. Wow. I don't know the year. We'll plug it in here. It is my top three. Do you know my other two?
Oh, geez. I gotta go Halloween.
Yeah.
Is that number one or number two?
I'd probably say that's two. Breakfast Club's three.
And okay, number one, Scarface.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it really?
Yeah. It literally goes Al Pacino, Scarface, John Carpenter's Halloween, John Hughes, The Breakfast Club. An
Okay.
amazing movie, hilarious, terrific writing, terrific acting.
I'm being honest, Sporto.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
editing out every minor curse word, like God, such a pet peeve. But yeah, great movie. So
You know
funny.
what the best one is? You don't think I don't understand what? You don't think I understand pressure, Claire? Well, damn you! Damn you!
So good.
Damn!
So good. And
It
they don't
really
they
is.
even edit out eat my shorts?
Yeah, yeah.
What did they make him say? Eat my well
Socks. Is it socks?
socks. Yeah.
Eat my socks.
Yeah. Like what's the big deal of saying eat my shorts? Like that can't
I
be
don't
on
know.
TV.
Eat my shorts.
Um, what's really funny about that movie, and I loved it since I've seen it as a kid, and I still love it now at 32 years old. The older you get, the more you kind of transition away from like the funny stuff and focus on the serious stuff, and that movie really just highlights parenthood, and like how the effects of parents influences the kids' thoughts, emotions, behaviors, to a T, and how they are mindful of it at such like an early age of adulthood and plan on doing everything in their power to not wind up like their parents. Now, who's to say here we are in 2026? Did Bender end up like his dad? Did Andrew end up like his dad? Who's to say? I don't know, but um I watch that movie now as an adult and I just have so many different opinions and thoughts obviously now than I did when I first saw it. Because when you first watch it, once again, we saw that I was maybe like 6, 7, 8, whatever, very young. You don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. You're just laughing at,
The curse
you
word.
know, the funny stuff, but like the older you get, that's one of those movies where you pay attention to the entire tone of the movie and you just look at it differently and appreciate it differently as like a hell of a film because John Hughes knew exactly what he was doing and they chose a cast that just hit it on the head,
Oh yeah,
you know.
big time.
Hey, huh?
Breakfast Club or 16 Candles? I gotta go 16 Candles though.
I love
Totally.
it.
It's so good. It's like that's just as funny.
Where is my automobile? Automobile?
Yeah,
Yeah, another John Hughes, right?
that's John Hughes.
Kind of his
John Hughes, Uncle Buck, Trains, Planes, Automobiles, I believe Home Alone is John Hughes, Weird Science. I mean, you could go on and on. The
yeah,
man was a genius.
yeah, he has some good ones for sure. So this week you we had discussed wanting to talk a little bit about Jackass, the upcoming fifth film that's in the works apparently.
Yeah.
Just, what's your take on it? How do you feel about it? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm not sitting here watching the calendar. and keeping an eye out for updates on filming and release dates and all of that. I'll see it. I was really let down by Jackass 4. Even before the whole Bam Margera being dropped from Jackass 4, I just kind of was looking at it differently anyway. How funny could this really be when some of these people are in their 50s, and how extreme are they willing to go? I didn't like Jackass 4. There were some parts that made me laugh, but I don't know. It's hard for me to get past the fact that Bam Margera is not even he's not even on Jackass 4. This is something that you and I have talked about a lot. Him and his CKY crew, like they were half of Jackass, in my opinion. It was Big Brother and it was CKY, and they formed Jackass. Now it's really just Big Brother and a bunch of randoms that we just met, like Poopies and Dark Shark and his dad. Well, it's like that's not even Jackass anymore. And Bam, rest in peace, Ryan Dunn. I know you said Rab himself was filming in 4, which I
Yeah,
think is really cool.
I think from what my understanding, I mean, he was in a post credit or a credit scene. He was doing some camera work and they did like flashbacks in the credits of like some of the early days. And you saw the clip of him doing bungee wedgie.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think he was involved behind the scenes a little bit.
that's cool.
Yeah, so maybe, there's some more things there that they can explore to bring, an original cast member of CKY back into the fold. That would be great. But yeah, from I couldn't agree more. Jackass 4 didn't hit at all. I've rewatched it.
Did you? Yeah,
And it just doesn't do it for me, you know.
yeah.
It's a not even a question of like the stunts necessarily. It's just the cast. The cast didn't do it for me at all. It just was missing the magic, the real camaraderie almost. Like it just didn't seem right. It was like I was watching a completely different show. And obviously that's gonna happen when you're missing Bam, Dunn, Raekwon wasn't, seen at all. D Camilla wasn't seen at all.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, just a letdown overall. New cast didn't do it for me. Um, wasn't impressed, and I remember, walking out of theaters and being like, oh, hopefully that's the last of that
Put a
because it
fork
just
in it.
wasn't. Yep, that was pretty much, a wrap. So yeah, I've seen some interviews with Bam Margera saying that potentially using older footage of
Yeah,
stunts. No new footage will be, no new stunts will be filmed of Bam.
yep,
Which I mean, I'm okay with that. He has to be involved. I mean,
yeah.
he has damn near 50% creative rights over the show. Like if it wasn't for Westchester, Pennsylvania, I mean, there is no Jackass in my opinion. So,
I agree.
um, yeah, it would be cool to see some of those, archived footage, archived stunts, and maybe seeing some of Rab introduced in some way.
You're right. Bam is, he will be in it, and it is only going to be old clips, which I am fine with. I was watching a YouTube video of his from like 2 or 3 years ago where he was talking about editing a bunch of clips he had of just him and Ryan Dunn. And he said, if you put together all of these clips that people haven't seen, I think he said it's like 4 days worth of shit, like start to finish. And he was like, it was driving me crazy because I've just been locked in my room trying to edit all this material, 4 days worth of stuff, and cram it into an hour and a half. He's like, it's just not possible. So just hearing something like that and then knowing, okay, he's not shooting new footage, but they're gonna pull from, the archives and just old shots that he has. I love that, and I'm ready for it. Who knows how far back they go? I mean, maybe it's the CKY days. Maybe we'll literally recognize a set or like the outfits they're wearing from like a Viva La Bam season 2, and we're like, oh shit, that's when, this was. Or maybe it was, recently, towards, Jackass 3 or Jackass 4. But I am eager to see what he decides to pull because, that's gonna probably be all up to him what he wants to show and not show. So
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for that aspect of it. For sure.
Depending on what they include, I think it can't be any worse than four, in my opinion. That sounds harsh.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
if Bam's involved in any way, it's instantly going to be better than four.
Now, there was a lot leading up to 4 too. I mean, you had Bam getting kicked off for his drug use, and then it later comes out, like Steve was talking on his podcast, that Poopies was using, and he overdosed while they were filming. And then you hear, there was drama with Steve-O and the team where like they were fighting over contract issues. And he was going on like the Pat McAfee show making statements like, they need me more than I need them, like before signing on. So there's like a lot of things. I don't know if you saw John C. Riley went on the Steve-O podcast and he said that Wee Man had one of John C. Riley's female friends kicked off the set because he threw a temper tantrum. Like apparently she went onto the set and Wee Man just kind of came onto the set and was being a dick to everybody and like, this is jackass, like I'm Wee Man, like who are you guys? And was apparently like kind of, being an asshole, being a dick to people. Apparently this one woman, friends with John C. Riley, wasn't having it, fired back at Wee Man, made some jokes, and apparently Wee Man had her kicked her off the set. Had her kicked off the set, and it's like this is Jackass we're talking about. Last I remember Jackass was it's just this savage film
We aren't
where
taking ourselves
everybody's
very
after,
seriously.
yeah, everybody's after each other, everybody's effing with each other. And I'm just hearing stories about like Steve-O fighting over contracts and like the poopies thing and then that. And it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of made me look at it in a different light and take away from that excitement. Once again, Bam Margera's coming back. I'm down with that. Definitely kind of ignites some excitement on my end, but you just kind of hear stories the last few years that of things that surrounded Jackass 4, and it was kind of a turnoff, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't hear any of that John C. Riley stuff. I'll have to go back and listen to the Wild Ride podcast a bit, but the poopies thing, I didn't never understood that. Where you've known this guy for what you met him surfing, Trip Taylor met him surfing or some shit, and knew the guy for a few months, and was like, I got a guy for Jackass 4, who's essentially replacing some of the cast members who done Bam, and that's your big find is Poopies, who then overdoses on the set.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
give up on Bam Margera and boot him from the movie after knowing him for 2+ decades, but some guy named Poopies gets a like I don't know. That's just yeah,
Yeah.
that's odd to me. That's
If I said he overdosed on set, I misspoke, but he overdosed while they were filming. He overdosed while they were filming, and
okay.
people knew about it. And it's like I just don't get that. You literally kicked Bam off for that. He literally failed a drug test, and you gave him the boot, and the movie took a hit. Movie took a hit. I don't think
Big time.
anybody who went to see Jackass 4 went to see Poopies. Sure, a lot of people went to see Bam Margera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's who everyone grew up watching,
Yeah. Yeah.
You're trying to bring the nostalgia back for the fourth time, but you're also eliminating the main nostalgic presence.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens. But we wanted to talk about that. We wanted to talk a little bit about, since we went into Bam Margera, the CKY days,
Yeah.
um, early Viva La Bam days, Wild Boys, and yeah, it just, I've watched a few episodes here and there on Amazon Prime. You can buy some of the seasons on there, and just watching some of it is just it's gold. The random unscripted things are just hysterical. And I watched the 3 Mile Island episode
Yeah.
and the scavenger hunt, specifically those two, end of season one, and it looks so fun to just be with the boys or whatever, acting like a kid, doing
Yeah.
whatever, and it just brings back such good memories. But
I bet those beans are good. Whoa!
CKY too. We were talking about some of our favorite stunts or most memorable stunts, and it's like Bam Margera in the streets of Philly. with roadkill, a roadkill skunk on top of an RC car. He's just remote controlling this car with a dead skunk on it through traffic of people. And it's like the audacity of somebody to do that 20
Yeah.
some years ago. And like it it's just hilarious. Like that was the YouTube of today, no doubt,
Yep.
where all these influencers and young YouTube stars got their fame came from that. You know,
Yeah.
the Tom Greens, the Bam Margeras, it's just amazing to see, where that has led and taken off.
You ever seen the clip of this behind the scenes scavenger hunt season one? One of the tasks was collect roadkill. And I think it just ended there, collect roadkill. But Jason Ellis went back to the Margera house with a whole dead doe, a whole dead deer, just walks into the Margera house and just pops it up on the island where Phil and Ape are sitting, and April loses her mind, as would I. That thing looked grimy. That
Really,
looked disgusting, but
pretty
that was
gnarly.
hilarious. The 3 Mile Island. And first off, I think all of season one, season one's probably the best season in my opinion. For
Followed
Viva La
closely
Bam.
by two. Two's
Yeah,
up there as well. But
season one, 3 Mile Island is hysterical. Rab himself getting sprayed by the fire hydrant. He actually almost lost his sight, I believe. I don't know where I saw that, but I saw an interview he was giving, and he went to the hospital. They had to flush his eyes, and they were telling him, "We don't know if your sight's gonna come back." And he was like, "What do you mean? Like we're just effing around, like drinking, and done hit him with the fire hydrant, and all of a sudden it's like he can't see." But
yeah.
apparently he was pretty creeped out over that, as would have I.
Now what if we need to put out the fire, Don? You just fucked that up, dude. Yeah, that guy mops up everything. Look at him run.
The extinguisher.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, 3 Mile Island episode. Oh, there's poison ivy and shit in here.
You're sitting on
Uh,
a glycerin tank, Vito. It
doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
It's 3 Mile
Glom.
Island's hysterical.
Glom. Tim Glom. That would be somebody we should reach out to and see if we could
Yeah.
get an interview with him because I just feel like he's got stories for days.
Yeah, he literally makes a half pipe out of plywood and duct tape.
Good.
Rake Jan's like, yeah, this is the most ghetto gift I've ever seen. And then literally the camera cuts, and here comes the crew running down the island. Like, where's he at? Where's he at? Camera pans. He's like fucking a mile down already. Like he is so far gone, and you can't even tell it's him. You just see his legs just slowly kicking,
Yep.
and he's just floating down the Susquehanna River.
Great.
You know,
Great episode. And the scavenger hunt, you can't talk about the scavenger hunt without the guest team of the Bloodhound Gang, who every
yeah,
time they showed up on Viva La Bam, it's like the comedic timing of Jimmy Pop was always so like perfect for that show.
yeah.
He would show up and just was an instant scene stealer.
Let's do this.
Jimmy Pop's chugging the 6 eggs and just pauses and is just contemplating his decision making. He's just staring. And it's coming. That's one of the funniest shots of the whole series. And then he just unleashes, throws up all 6 eggs on like some dude's shoulder. And Evil Jared during that episode, true story, I believe he got arrested for urinating in public or like
Yeah,
urinating off of like the school bus or something.
the whole team apparently did. I saw this in an interview that Bam Margera gave another podcast. I don't know which podcast that was, but he said that whole team got arrested for
Yeah.
pissing off of a parking garage trying to pee into a cup that was
Okay,
on the
yeah.
ground, and everybody got arrested. Apparently, the cameramen, the anyone present. There's just something about the early days, and there's a lost episode that you can watch on YouTube called the Iceland Lost Episode, and it's
Yeah.
mostly commentaried by Joe Franz, but Rab's on there, Bam's on there, even Ryan Dunn.
They would have made that into an actual episode. I'm sure it would be up there, with one of my favorites. But yeah, the content that they got, just the commentary that they have behind the scenes is hysterical. And it's just so random. Like, okay, we're at the bar one night drinking, and Ryan Dunn's just, yeah, I'll hop in a barrel and go down this waterfall. Just absolutely shit-faced, I'm sure. And Bam Margera being Bam, he just goes, all right, I'll just buy everybody tickets. We'll fly out tomorrow morning. And they literally like hop on a flight like 7 hours later. Um, and
I hope to one day be that spontaneous where like a drinking argument at the bar or at home results in me buying tickets to another country for the next day.
yeah,
Amanda and I were talking about that, and I was just like, the freedom, like that is just like, that's the way we ought to be living our life. Is like, oh, we disagree about something. I want to prove you wrong. Guess what? We're going tomorrow.
yeah.
You're waking up to me packing our bags. Be like, we're going to Iceland. Like,
Dunn hops in. They put the pillow over his head. He's just like, no, no, I'm
no.
not. He hops out. Bam's like, get in the fucking barrel, and Dunn just flips. He's like, I don't care if you bought me a fucking ticket to Iceland. I was drunk. I'm not doing
And
it.
Rab's like, what? He just gets angry and he's not doing it. Like, that's just it.
Yeah. Like we just flew all the way out here and spent the whole day. I think the story is like they spent like half the day just looking for a barrel itself, and they randomly come across this factory that they have to hop a fence, duck out. Who knows what chemicals were even in that barrel, but they just dump out this barrel, toss it over. And Vito, he said it best. What would you have done if he went down there and broke his neck? Now what? Like that could have went a completely different
Oh
direction. He
man,
could have died. Or he could have just snapped his neck and been paralyzed, and it's like, then what? We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Absolute nowhere. What do we do? But yeah, that's a funny episode. And I'm really surprised they didn't turn it into an actual Viva La Bam
me
episode.
too. Me too. I often wonder, like, of all the footage that they probably have had enough for a whole nother season, honestly. And you wonder what was the deciding factor on what made the cut and what didn't.
Yeah, Viva La Bam, just in my opinion, putting it, next to Jackass, Wild Boys. I mean, they're all entertaining, but I'm putting Viva La Bam just the best. I
Me
just
too.
thought from start to finish, it was just the most consistent, with content, making me laugh. It was just hysterical. Yeah.
So yeah, that just reminded me of the Vice Channel's epically latered series. It kind of goes into the backstories of a lot of the founders, or not founders, but most influential for various reasons skaters of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and that's another great series that I've rewatched. Anytime it's been on, I always turn it on. There's some great episodes on there, from Bam Margera to Heath Kirchart. Heath Kirchart's like the modern day Bob Dylan of skating, essentially. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode, but
Uh-uh.
if there's one thing that you're gonna watch that's skate related this week, look up the epically latered Heath Kirchart episode. If there's one dude I would love to meet, it's that guy in the skate community. It's insane. And he retired from skating young because I mean, he was great for one, but he just like invested money here and here and here doing whatever odd jobs on the side, and now he just films all of his adventures. I mean, this was now 6, 7 years ago, but he just films all of his retirement adventures, like sailing from LA or San Diego all the way to Baja, in little canoes that he makes, and mountain climbing and kayaking, whitewater rafting, and he just films them all, and it's insane. It's just really interesting, and I would advise anybody who's listening, who's into skating and those types of documentaries, check it out. Epically latered Heath Kirchart.
That age of skaters like Chad Muska, Andrew Reynolds, Rodney Mullen, Mike V, pretty much everybody from the Tony Hawk, like Kareem Campbell, like the original Tony Hawk games. I
Oh,
feel like
right.
I just feel like that was the best era of skateboarding and
Oh,
like
yeah.
pro skaters at the time. Like
Oh, yeah.
they all had their own style. They just all skated differently, as weird as that sounds. I feel like nowadays there's so many skaters and they just have like the same style. They even like dress the same and it's just like I don't know. But then again, too, like the talent is on a completely different level
It
nowadays. Like I
is.
said, you have
Yeah.
like 8-year-olds landing 1080s. Nigel Houston is still at the top of his game. I don't, did you just see him fracture his skull?
It did.
That
He,
was insane.
I didn't
And
see the video.
oh,
Is there
you
a
didn't?
video of it?
Oh my gosh, the video is disturbing. It knocks him
Really?
unconscious. He racks on the rail and then racks, just nails his head on the sidewalk and just goes limp. It's pretty disturbing, but he's still at the top, of the skate game. And, he's been shredding since he was what, like 7 years old? Like seriously, if I
Yeah.
had a Mount Rushmore of skating, I'm honestly
I'm putting him
I'm
on it
putting
too.
Nigel Houston
Yeah.
on him.
That guy is crazy.
If I'm actually going Mount Rushmore of skating, I'm gonna go. You gotta go Rodney Mullen. He's literally the godfather of like
I
every
agree.
street skate trick.
Yep.
You do have to go Tony Hawk with Vert. I'm gonna throw Nigel Houston on there. He's just been, he's at it his whole life. I mean, he's kick flipping 10 stairs when he was like 6. Like, how
Yeah.
do you even get that good?
It's hard to not put him up there.
Yeah, how do you even get that good? And then that fourth spot for me, I don't know, man. That fourth spot you could leave open.
Honestly, I'm going Heath Kirchart. You watch that documentary and watch some of his skate parts in videos, and he just skated so violently. Like some of his falls are just like, man, like he commits, and not that to discredit anybody else. They all do. They're pros, but something about his style just stood out to me. Why don't we wrap it up, before we head out, looking ahead,
Yeah.
we were in theaters last night for that Wuthering Heights movie and another preview for Scream 7.
Yeah.
How is that looking? What are you thinking? What's your early predictions? Are you excited?
So obviously I am a horror buff. As far as Scream 7 goes, I'm excited. It's kind of getting to the point like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. You're talking Scream 7. There gets a point where it's like, and I kind of feel like Terrifier's getting there too. Terrifier 4 is coming out later this year. Once you get to a certain amount of sequels, put a fork in it, like kind of like what we were talking about with Jackass, ironically. But I am looking forward to it. Scream is not my favorite horror franchise, but I would say it's the most consistent as far as making good movies. Like I love Halloween franchise, but there's a lot of bad Halloween movies, a lot of bad Friday the 13th movies. Scream, in my opinion, is the most consistent from start to finish. So I am looking forward to it. Nev Campbell's back. She was not on Scream 6. Courtney Cox is coming back. They are putting Nev Campbell's Sidney Prescott's character back in the limelight. And, they had Matthew Lillard signed on. Don't know what they are going to be doing with that. Is Stu alive? Is Stu dead? Is it going to be some type of AI thing? Who knows? And the guy who played Roman Bridger in Scream 3, who ended up being Sidney Prescott's long lost brother, is also signed on. So once again, what are those two sign-ons? What do they mean? Where do they go? I have a lot of theories about it. I'm excited. I'm going to watch it in theaters. How about you?
Same. We are gonna check it out opening weekend. I'm with you. I'm not a huge horror fan, but I do agree the first few Screams are great. The rest I found to be pretty average, but this one I'm super excited for. Just from what I've been reading, Matthew Lillard confirmed it in some kind of Comic-Con or something or other that his character is back, I believe. And if you watch the trailers for it,
Yeah.
there's a lot of quotes directly from Stu Macher from Scream 1 that are in the trailer. Deliberately, I would imagine so. I don't
Yep.
know if that's meant to throw you off. Diehard fans are going to recognize what those quotes are. But yeah, looking forward to it. 2 more weeks, I believe, last weekend of February.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that one. Other than that, how about this week? Anything going on other than return to work?
I do plan on watching the Olympic team documentary on Netflix. We can
Yep.
dive a little bit more into that to the next one. Yeah, and let's keep paying attention to the promotion for Scream 7. We can kind of keep touching base on that every episode until its actual release, and then talk
Yep.
about it when it's released. But I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, good session here tonight. Good talk.
Yeah, definitely.
And thanks everyone for listening, and we'll be back this time next week.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. We appreciate your time. Comment below if you're excited for Scream 7. Thanks, guys.